Good morning, London traders, from a very rainy and another cold day in South Africa, which should be summertime already. But rain is normal around this time, but the coldness is quite exceptional, to be honest. So we're suffering a little bit here, not being used to this weather anymore. Um, yeah, so really wearing long sleeves and stuff like that, and being wrapped up in layers and stuff like that. But it's not that bad. But if you're not used to cold anymore, I mean, we use jackets when other people are. For them in Europe, it's still summer. But anyway, um, yeah, let's get into it. I want to start with saying that I want to bring more structure to the London sessions, in the sense of, obviously we'll look for trading for setups. That's number one focus. But also, I think it's very good to also use the London sessions for to bring valuable content, in the sense of topics that people that are watching are interested in. And right now, I'm in the process of building that 2 a.m. model. So I think that's one of the focus I want to keep having. So that's why I want to start the stream around this time. So it's still an ongoing process, looking at that 150 210 macro. And besides that, also now I think I'm very interested in the suspension block from ICT. So I want to just also bring more structure to the sessions. And I would, yeah, any input of you guys is welcome if you have any input. But that's what I've been thinking about. I noticed there's a little bit of difference in the people that join in London and join in the later sessions. So yeah, so I want to structure it better so I can also timestamp it if there's a specific topics that have been discussed, so people can go back to them easily. So yeah, that's something I just wanted to start with. And let's just jump into it, jump into it. We are again at all-time highs, and that's pretty awesome. Why? That means if we don't have a trend day, we might get a TGIF today. It is NFP week, but let me check what the market is saying. Is it still tentative? I guess so, right? Because yeah, it's still tentative because the shutdown is still ongoing, I believe. The U.S. government data maybe they now put a note above it. The U.S. government data may be impacted by the shutdown. Tentative events are subject to delay, revision, or cancellation. Okay, yes. So we already thought about that. So all the normally NFP data, which I believe it was always at 8:30 or 10 o'clock, I can't really remember. So we're not going to get that relief that we normally have on Friday, but maybe the market is just, it seems the market is responding very positive to it. Apparently, causing a lot of money to be saved by the taxpayers, and the analysts are receiving it very, I guess, very positively, as is seen by the markets. I guess it's just nothing we can really we can say anything about, in the sense that we really know. I don't guess so, but we just watch how the market reacts, right? And as far as we can see, it's very positive. So can we get another move to the upside? Yes. We've already done so. So what I'm doing on Friday already in London session, I'm already grading. I'm already not grading, but I'm already looking at the weekly range for the TGIF. So I mark the full weekly low and the weekly high. And obviously, if we go higher, we have to extend that range, right? But at any time, if there's a reversal, we can go back into that range, and that's the TGIF. It could happen in London. It could happen on Thursday already. But yesterday we were in that TGIF range. That means the 20, 30, 40% range of the, when the candle you open high, low, close. We already went back into the range, but we already broke out of it and we made a new high. So that's indicating already that we might get we're going higher. So the white line is my weekly top. So I'm just extending that if we go higher because I just want those ranges on my chart because it's important on Friday. Yeah, and again we're looking at the two. We are looking at the 210, the 150 210 macro. Now I want to point out something as we're building this model. If you see, let me go to my chart because I think we're going to get a continuation in this because we're in the macro already. Let me go to my chart. You see here at 146, we had two large candles. So, yesterday I also talked about extending the macro. This is going to be a continuation during the macro most likely. I'm not going to play it. I just want to point it out to you guys because we're building the model here. As you can see in the video that I made, the examples that I made, this is exactly one of the continuation models that's setting up. I mean, if you have a trade, trade it. But I'm focusing more on the educational side of it right now. I actually want to see one more a little bit cleaner retest of this area, but you'll see most likely we'll get a continuation to the downside. So now the 2 a.m. 210 model will be a continuation move. We swept a high. In this case, it's all-time high, but it's exactly the same setup. We've already gone lower here. Let me see if we are going to break this or we're going to go into this area. But let's see if we're going to get a continuation of the 2 a.m. move. So for me, I'm more focused on educational side in the London session. So for me, I will take trades, but we just entered and I'm just getting in on the stream. And I'm not in a rush to take a trade because if I think we're gonna have a really nice Friday. So let's just ease into it, right? But let me know what you guys think about it. If it's a good idea, and if you have any specific topics, if you like it to focus on beside of the trading, obviously, just go over some topics in a little bit deeper, and yeah. Thank you, Mo. I appreciate it. Welcome. I think you're new here. Mo, I've been trading now over 6 years, a little bit longer, but I got a thank you from one of my older brokers that they thank me for 6 years of being part of their journey. So I guess 6 years, a little bit longer than 6 years, but I haven't found ICT before. I think that's now really 3 years now. And that really changed for me. That was really where I got, is it 3 years? Where I started to get profitable and really, started to connect a lot of dots. But yeah, so when I started doing the London sessions, I noticed the 2 a.m. move, and we always talk about the ICT silver bullet. And I made a video about the 2 a.m. move. It's just a very short examples of how either it's a continuation move or it's manipulation move within in that area, right? And that was last week, and all the examples they're ongoing. But this week it's been different, so it's ongoing. I love to build models, so I think it's nice just to build the model on stream together with the people that are interested and focus a little bit more, going deeper into it. And I love to trade mechanically, so having data backing it up and that it gets, that's how you take the emotions out of it. So, so that's why I prefer to, besides just giving trading things, just also working on getting people really also the benefit of seeing, or just sharing the knowledge, what I have been discovering and just build together, right? Thank you, Mo. It is, for me, it's part of building it together and, really creating value for the people that, so I just want to point out again, like, okay, we really see the continuation here going now. Now, the only thing that I would like to how would you know, right? Like, okay, it's the time is coming, and why would the 2 a.m. move, the 2:10 move now be of significance? Well, in this case, we took up the high here, right? And in when do you extend the model? Yesterday, I also gave one example in the stream. When you that was at 3 a.m. And at the London session as well. It was an example when you could um, add 5 minutes to the macro. So not always, but in this case as well, you could see the move has already started. So that's an indication already. If you look then here, we took a high, right? And we're in all-time highs, and you have this nice move down. That's a good indication for a continuation model of the 2 a.m. Yeah, Mo, if you want, I did a video on it. Take a look at that one. It already has a lot of examples, but I'm going to build more during the streams. And I think I'm going to have it clear, like the if-thens on this model and what to do. We're going to name it. We're going to name it. So, but you know, models don't work all the time. But now, okay, so now it's two. I want to go back to the one. So I'm not trading it right now. I just want to go over the model because it's more important that we see it and we can trade it after. You know, once you have it all set, we're going to trade it over and over and over and over when it presents. Don't worry about that. Okay, so the 140, 150 to 2 now I've got graded between the time. So I just want to, another thing I want to point out, sometimes the models, the macros, so sometimes you can extend the models 5 minutes before, 5 minutes after, depending on what is happening, right? So in this case, when you see a drop down at 146, you might think, okay, is that already part of the one, let's call it the 2 a.m. move, right? But it's also important to remember that sometimes the macros, you can divide them in two, the 150 to 2, and then it could reverse back up. So depending on what's happening here, you also want to be sure, like, okay, is it a continuation or are we just slightly retracing to go back higher? Possible. But why is it now more likely to be a continuation move instead of a just we can yes, Mo, yes, definitely it's been challenging for me as well because I kept being on the NQ and most of the times my most profitable weeks are the third week of the month. And even that one last month was not good. Now I've also been focusing on my new YouTube channel, but it has been very difficult, extremely difficult. So you're not alone, really, you're not alone. But I think it's October now, and things might get better. But if you've been struggling, it's really not you. A lot of people have been struggling, and it's very important on times like this just to be more working on more, getting more knowledge, studying, and taking less trades. But it's been not easy. And anybody who says it was easy, I don't know. I think they're lying because it's been, even ICT says it. It's been very challenging. But anyway, let's have a look again. So now it's clearly going down, right? Let's go to the 5 minutes. I haven't done my higher time analysis because I just wanted to get on stream for this move and just watch it together because I saw this happening and I just wanted to showcase the how you trade time. And let's say you don't have, you see this happening, you want to get in and you don't know, oh my god, but what is the level I can take? Well, obviously you look at the 15-minute. But what can you tell from here, right? It's like, okay, we've got your order block here. Here is order block. Where are we going to? How low is it going? Is it going to reject here? No. 2,550. We've got this big, large area. I'm going to mark this just for the sake of the video. we're going to call this an inversion. And then I'll get back to the lower time frame. Bear with me. I'm sorry, guys. I just want to mark this, and we go back to the 1 minute. Okay. Now this was a bearish fair value gap, right? And we already went through it. It was a SIBI. We already went above it. Now, is it going to be support? Yeah. It's very frustrating, well, I know. And especially, but you know, that happens all the time. When you're on a winning streaks always end, right? That's why it's called a streak. But it's sort of like a bummer, right? It's always like, especially when you have a longer winning streak and then suddenly you're like, what the F? Why am I not, why is it not working out anymore? Is it me, or is it just, but we also, I mean, I don't know if you have that as well. If I'm on a winning streak, I do get a little bit, not arrogant, but I sometimes do need a lesson a little bit, because it's sort of like, it's sometimes, but yeah. But winning streaks are awesome. But they always end, and if you have winning streaks, they're also losing streaks. They go together, right? Like water and fire. Yeah, unfortunately. But okay, so I just created that large area just to make okay, another thing that I always do around 2 a.m. because 10, yes, it's the start of a new 4-hour candle. So yeah, 2 to 6, yeah. So I always look when we just pass the hour, or actually before the hour, I do that. I look at, okay, what have the 4 hours been doing, right? So we have a 4-hour fair value gap here, right over here. I think it's more, let us just, I'm going to delete this IRPG because the 4-hour fair value gap is within this one. So I think this one is more important to mark. Hold on. It's the 4-hour. There we go. Okay, now go back to the. Now, what do candles do, right? We have, yeah, definitely getting cocky. But hey, we need those lessons. That's part of the journey. Don't. And that's why I also want to focus on more on, doing these sessions, like getting more patience. It helps me doing these streams, getting more patience and just focusing. That's why I think it's good to focus on educational stuff, and then we apply it, and being like having a model, and really, if we can have a model together, we trade it, and then we really not right build it. And okay, so I just want to point out the 4-hour. So we always have an open, high, low, close, right? So what are we going to do the first 2 hours of the new 4-hour candle? It could consolidate. I love trading AMD, so accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Now the problem is we just took an all-time high, and we're in price discovery mode. So we don't know if we're going to go back up further and go up, 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 up. So we have to be a little bit more careful here now. And we're getting at the end of the macro. Okay. There we go. Now. So we didn't reach a higher time frame PD array, right? Just go through this a little bit. The daily. Do we have anything here specific? No. We've got this here. Daily. We're so bullish. Oh, we're so bullish. Love it. Let me just go to the 4 hour here. Okay. You see the 4 hour. We have a wick here as well. Are you, Mo, are you into ICT? Have you been watching ICT's videos? Because he about those wicks, he has been going over the discount and premium wicks on the higher time frame that he marks. Let me show you. I want to show you something because I think it's going to be very valuable information. Okay, I'm going to go back on the 4 hour on this chart so you can see what I mean. And it's this wick now that he only uses the daily, but I noticed that they're just as valuable on the. So let me just mark this, and I just want to show you something. Talking about confluences, right? So I marked this wick, this large one here, and I graded them in 1/4 and 1/3, right? Now look. Did you see where the 0.5 of that wick is? It's exactly in the middle of that 4 hour fair value gap. Okay, well, that's fine. I understand. But I'll simplify. Yeah, I'll just point things out. You don't have to, that's why I study it for you, and I'll simplify it for you. Now, why am I now knowing we are going back further up? You see, I graded that wick, and I graded 25%, 33, 0.56. And you see now it's reacting at this 20.5% of that wick. It's the 4 hour wick. Let me point it out to you. So this 4 hour wick. These wicks gives information. It's this 4 hour wick that I graded. Wicks are gaps, and wicks wicks are gaps. It's manipulation, but there's so much information in it. Yes. So this is a premium wick, but it gives you can use them as premium to discount. So the market uses them. So you see here exactly. And algorithmically, I indicated the 4 hour FUG, right? And you see the 0.5 of that wick. The 0.5 of that 4 hour wick is exactly the mid of that fair value gap as well. So if we would go down, I have this area definitely on my radar here. Why? We've got liquidity here as well, but we also have to remember there's also another point here that might be of interest. But the 0.5 for me is very important. Liquidity, and it has two confluences for me now. It's the midpoint of the 4 hour fair value gap, but also the midpoint of that 4 hour wick on the left. So it has algorithmic value, right? Now, I want to get back into the model a little bit, because how would we have traded this? Now, time-wise, let's say we didn't have this information and we see this. Now, we also didn't have like a normal you see this here going up at 1:54, and then it goes down, and then it stops at 3:02. But let's see what's doing now. $2.13. Mo, where are you from, by the way? So we are now hovering above midnight, and United States. Ah, so you're it's very early there. So I live in South Africa, but I'm from the Netherlands originally. Yeah. So I'm a Dutchie, and I actually left the Netherlands for the weather, but it followed me today. We've had a really, it's summer. Summer started here, but not really. It's really cool. Okay. 2:17. Are you just, do you just woke up, or are you still awake? Okay, I want to share something nice about time, because I've traded a lot. I trade time a lot. So if I see a move like this happening, right, and I called it a continuation, but okay, Moroccan ethnicality. How did you end up in the U.S.? Long time ago or just recently? Is Mo from Moroccan or Mo from Mohammed? I've never been to Morocco, but it seems I have a lot of, it's beautiful, right? Okay, Mo, I'll share one of my secrets with you, which I discovered in macros. If you see around, if the move starts earlier, want to trade London since New York has been treating me right. Okay, gotcha. Okay, let me share a little gem with you, because you earned it for waking up or staying awake so long. So let me, but I just want you to, don't take it from me, but just test it, right? If you see a move starting in a macro, right, and it started sooner, because let's say 146 is 5 minutes sooner, so then you can consider it, okay, the macro has started. But is it really a continuation or not? Because we're at all-time highs, we have to be a little bit more vigilant. What I then do is I'm always very vigilant around 3 past the hour, 2 past the hour. So what you see happening here is go back test it on the 1 minute. So you see here we have a down close candle at 3, and then at 4 it's sort of like when you see a large candle upcoming. Most of the times when the move starts sooner than the macro time, so let's say the 150 that we have learned from ICT, get out of your position. You might miss a move, but most of the time the macro, sort of like that move that you are anticipating, is over. So it either reverses and goes back up, or it stalls and it could go back further down, but you don't want to take the risk. So let's say you miss this move, you get in this little move and you see it go down, you enter here somewhere, right? And then you just write it down, and then you trade time, and then you're very careful and you watch the behavior around the 3 past the hour, because normally around that time it either switches back again. Keep that to yourself. But it has to be like, if you see something like this already happening, you just watch. You just watch. And if you see this candle coming at 4 and it's already a large one, just think, what, it's 3 past the hour. We had a run already here. The macro just may just end for the run. Yeah, in that direction. So the question is this now a manipulation move? Is this accumulation, manipulation? Do we get the distribution now? So, or are we just having a retracement up and then a continuation further down? Because we haven't gone into this 4-hour FUG, right? Yeah, no, and I want you to test it, and I want you to just look into the macro times, because if you start seeing those algorithmic signatures, it will really help you. So, because I always trade AMD, but because we're at all-time highs, it's a little bit difficult now, really, to really think, okay, but we have this 4-hour fair value gap here now. We took an all-time high, which we can consider external liquidity. What does liquidity do? We go from external to internal. What's internal liquidity? That's a fair value gap, right? But again, it doesn't have to, because we hit that 4-hour wick, the 25%. It could be enough for the algo to just go back up further. It doesn't have to go down. It just could go up, 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 and then go down later on. But yeah, so it's a little bit difficult now to read. But I think it's going back up, to be honest. Now let's see. So if it would go back further down, for example, then these levels of that 4-hour wick, as you can see now, we are really hovering about the 25%. Then we have the 1/3. ICT doesn't use 1/3, by the way. I use 1/3 because I've noticed that they do react from it. But I think he kept that from the public. But I started using them, and I'm like, okay, well, we're very bullish, right? So, what do I want to do something else. So something else. So I trade time, but I also use the first presented fair value gaps of every session. My other followers, they told me that I had to clean up my charts because I had a lot of information on my chart, because I look at a lot of things. So I don't have a lot of things on this chart, but we're in all-time highs now anyway, so we don't have much data. But I just want to check. I'm just going to some other charts just to check a few things. Hey Mo, listen, I'll tell you one thing. There is so much information hidden in the charts that if you, and ICT is doing some more lessons as well and giving some more information. If you also believe there's an algo running, and it's just a matter of looking for the algorithmic signatures, the little secrets that they print somewhere, and then it makes trading a lot easier, and it really helps you make your trading more mechanical. So the more mechanical it is based on data and time, the less emotions you get into trading. And also what I do want to explain when I say time, I trade time, is because the algorithm is scripted against time. Why is the algo scripted against time? So if you have the y-axis is the price, and you've got the x-axis, and that's time. If you were asked to script the algorithm, how would you script it? Against what? Against price or against time? Which one of the two cannot be manipulated? I'll get into the unicorn. That's my favorite too. Okay, so price can be manipulated, but time cannot be manipulated. There's always the same amount of seconds in a minute. There's always the same amount of minutes in an hour. So that's why they scripted the algorithm against time, because that's the only thing that cannot be manipulated. They do the manipulation, but the only way to script the algorithm is against time. So that's why it's time that's so important. Yeah, the unicorn, for me, it's the breaker with a fair value gap. And Yeah, now it's so simple, and if you understand that, so what happens is that it refers back to certain moments. So algorithmic midnight is what is the algorithmic start of the day, midnight Eastern, right? So that's very important. And I always have the 4 o'clock on my chart, and some other times as well, because those at those moments, it's not the 4 o'clock itself that's important, but the algo does things like it creates an imbalance, or it creates liquidity, or it creates just something it can refer back to. And specific times work in tandem with each other. So once you start seeing that, it becomes very um, you'll see the market very differently. Um, but yeah, it's scripted against time because that's the only way they can do it. It's simple as that. Yeah, how can you script against price, right? Because if we pass through a price like what the price of 3 years ago, we haven't seen again, so we are not going back to that price, right? So yeah, so time, that's why time is more important than price. Price is just a byproduct of the algo, where it's what it uses to make our brains go into doing those weird things that we are doing. And the algo is built around greed and fear. That's as simple as that. So, and that's why it gets to us, right? It's not discipline. It's basically biology, to be honest. So, yeah. But yeah, so yeah, I love the unicorn model too. I mean, that's for me one of the clearest. So right now, if I look at the 15-minute, I see I see a unicorn model in the making, and I'll show you why, what I'm looking at already. And that's why I marked at 15-minute busy, right? I'll tell you why. Let me show you. Let me go back to the 15-minute. If we talk about unicorn models, I see one on the 15. Now, if we pass through this area here, this becomes. Do we have a breaker here? Yeah, we can. No. Okay, let me just. This one here. If we have, if we have activated a 15-minute breaker, by the way. This one here. So we're retesting it right now. Sort of a mitigation block, to be honest, but 15-minute breaker. We have a close. We closed higher above it. We went into it. We are retesting it, and the bodies are not leaving the 50%. So it's very high. It's likely that we are going up. But we're also in a fair value gap. So I'm a little bit skeptical here because we've got this 4-hour below us, the 4-hour FUG, and so I'm just watching for now because I just want more information. What is price going to do? So is it either respecting this 15-minute breaker and using it as a trampoline to go up and disrespecting this area here? Or is this just the move that is now finalized and now it's going to go back into the range to this 4-hour fair value gap? Yeah. Your second year and I was had trouble having all-time high. Yeah, at all-time high, we just consider it bullish until we have for me, it's a 15-minute change in the state of delivery. So for me, I would take a long from here. I'm not in, well, I didn't grade the wick before, but for me now it's okay. We can go back up a little bit higher. But listen, we might get a TGIF today, so that means you get the weekly candle goes back into the range, right? So you could wait for that, but you could also wait, like, okay, if we take another high and we get a nice retracement back in. For me, it would be, I would have the perfect long from here, but then again, it might, this sometimes it doesn't give you that, it doesn't make it that easy, right? But it looks like it's already disrespecting this one here. So in hindsight, it's very easy then to say, oh, the model that, so why am I doing this? Why am I spending time with this 2 a.m. model? Did we just create the manipulation move because we had consolidation, right? And things are lining up. If I'm thinking about it now, okay, we've got the 15-minute breaker. We had this 25% of that wick, but I would rather have a long from here because we took external liquidity here, but it could take more. I would like a long from this area. I wanted to get into this area, and then I'm really you see, it's sort of retracing there, right? This is a hard area, guys. This is a very dangerous area to go long. But on the other hand, if I'm looking at the how it's presenting itself, I just don't trust it fully because this is such a large area. Look. Yeah, I think we're going up, but would I take it from here? Maybe in the next macro. Well, technically 233 is a macro, a London macro. Let me see. Let me quickly go over some data again. Nagasaki, yeah. I'm going to wait till 3 o'clock for trading. I just want to have some more data. If I miss a move, I miss a move, but not 3 o'clock, but to the next macro 250. I'm just going to let it play out a little bit and see what it's doing. We did go above midnight again, and see, that's what I don't like when we're in an area and we just, we had accumulation, let's say from midnight time. Obviously, midnight, we're around midnight, but then we went up from it, then we went down. I'm just going to make sure it doesn't go back into the midnight area. I think we're going to go high. I think you're right, Mo. I wouldn't be surprised it's going to disregard this SIBI. But how high is it going to go? We don't know, right? The only thing we can do right now is we could calculate what you can do. calculate this range. I might take a paper trade on this one. Macro fit, let me see. Take it to 125, 25. Let me see if it works. Yeah, it's just a paper trade. Warming up. Okay, I'm gonna take the breaker off. It's one less things on my chart. Hey Casey, how have you been doing? Yesterday, I hardly traded yesterday. I did take some trades, but it was very stormy here, so I was a little bit careful. And Thursday, the Thursday before NFP is always my worst day, so I try not to trade too much. For my second, ooh, good for you. Wait until you know, the government shutdown in the US. All the news is tentative, but we seem to be going up, up, up. But yeah, it's crazy how markets are reacting, right? So it looks like we might take another stab to the highs. I'm just warming up, so I'm just taking a paper trade, guys. But hey, I'll tell you one thing. If I paper trade, I journal them just as I keep on repeating that because I really want to point out the power of paper trading because that's how I improve my executions. And sometimes if I wake up, I do miss, you know, you just start, you didn't have enough coffee, you miss out one little thing because obviously now it's making another high. And I want to point out another thing. Sometimes if you have these clusters, you need at least two clusters. And then the third time it goes through it, I'm just looking at it. I'm like, oh, okay, it's not going to go. It might not go now, right? And sometimes I see them because I look more um, once I'm in a trade, even the paper trade, my brain is already going like, okay, am I missing something? Am I, you know, I don't want to have a losing trade because I don't mind because I'm learn most of my losing trades, but obviously, you don't, you, especially on stream, you want to have, you know, proper setups with, now it's also not a 2R trade, so that I'm even more cautious now. So is it FOMO kicking in a little bit for me? Yes, it is a little bit. Um, but also I do like to paper trade because that forces me to journal certain behavior, and that's where I learn the most from. Now, my reasoning was we already closed above this SIBI, right? So we already disrespected this SIBI. So that was my logic before entering. And the moment we go over the white line, I'm going to trail it to break even. But this is not. It was the same thing that happened. Oh, that's good to know. I didn't remember. Um, so that's my logic because we have a close already above this. So it already disrespected this BC fully already. So that's why I got in. And it's 25% of the wick here. We're in that 25 in that 15-minute breaker. But on the lower time frame, it could still go back into this range. So that's why I put the stop below this line here. It's so interesting, right? How things work that you think, oh, this is really bad, but I guess we just have to follow price action. Now, also, why I'm interested in this, because we have this is the macro time, right? Why would a macro make a move down and then go back up and then actually go over the this? I consider this part of the macro because it's 146, and if we have a run down, so basically on the 5 minute, this is part of the. It should be actually the whole. Let me see on the 5 minute. Should I use, yeah, so if you want, if this is going to be the manipulation move, you should calculate maybe, oh, 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 no, 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 no. Oh, oh, we do have a little order block here. No, I'm just gonna, this is my calculation. But this area might be a nice breaker for a bearish breaker at the moment we're going down. This is going to be a breaker area, right? But it's going to be a future breaker, but then a bearish one. Okay, let's watch. Casey, also it's late for you, right? Or very early, I must say, for you guys. What are you doing up so late? Or so early? So yeah, this is, obviously we have, you normally have at least two of these areas before it goes. It's a little bit too early. I'm too early. I know. It's okay. I need more coffee. I need more coffee. Oh, really? Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Did you see were you here from the start? Casey, you've been here from the. I think if we build the model, the 2 a.m. model, I think I'm going to name it the Casey model. Or let me. You can name the model once we have enough information. You've been here. I think you're one of my first followers. Oh, okay. Well, anyway, it still counts. But I really think, like, because sometimes people have why I'm interested in that 2 a.m. model is also sometimes people don't have time, or they are, like the people in the US, they might be just laid up, they want to go to bed, but then there might be still one model, like the 2 a.m. model, and then they're done, and then they can go to it. Okay, so I'm stopped out. That's okay. I need to journal that. That was a little bit of FOMO on my end, to be honest. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you guys, because I thought, oh, we're gonna break out, and but we are going to break out again, I guess, but not now. Um, a little bit of FOMO. Oh, you were in the 30s. Okay. You shouldn't say you shouldn't say that. I thought you were one in the 10th. So yesterday I had the number 50 on the evening stream, and I should have a pop up. Oh, again it didn't pop up, right? Mo, it didn't show, right? Because I want to, if I see it, I want to thank people, because it's special when people sign up for, especially in the beginning stages. And I didn't see it, and the person didn't show. I said, "Hey, who's number 50?" Um, and he didn't show, but I don't know who it was, so I can't see, because people, it's automatically hit in YouTube if your name is not showing. You have to unticket yourself. So most of the people, if you don't see it, you don't know. So yeah. So now, actually, to be honest, if it would go down, um, for me, this would be a perfect long in this area. So that's a 4 hour fair value gap matching with the, but let's see. I think we're not done yet going up. Let's wait till the 250, 310 macro. Long from 179, good entry. Now again, let's see if the macro, if we can, if this macro starts sooner, right? Because what happened here, now, yesterday, in yesterday's stream, we created a high, a triple high around a macro. And I mentioned that sometimes when it does that, it was a macro, it was a high that was created, it didn't take out a high. I said it takes at least an hour before it takes out that high, according to my journaling. And it happened to do it exactly in the next hour. It took out the high. Now we did create another high here. So now we have a double top. So according for my journaling, so Casey, I just want to point, I wouldn't go long here because sometimes when it creates a high, it takes a little bit longer before it takes it out. But the only thing, the difference now is that I'm not really sure of is we didn't do it in a normal macro. So that's my only thing that I would, if I see, this is really like a double high now, right? One, two, they're just clusters, right? But it's not a macro. So I would just, I'm waiting for a little bit more information. But if this would be in a macro and it would go back down, I would not, I would just, maybe think like, okay, maybe we need more time. But this is not technically in the macro, so let's see what it does. But I wanted to go back, I wanted to go into this range first. That would be my perfect long. And it's also a little bit too close to midnight to my liking. Okay, macro started, guys. In 250, we went into this bearish fair value gap. Casey, you're on micros, right? Don't tell me you're on minis. 250, 250. A bullish candle in the first point of macro. I'm taking a short here. Stop loss is just above this one here in the midpoint. TP. Let's see. Ooh, it's taking me out. Okay, good. I'm taking out. You're doing good, Casey. Come on, take me out. Nice. I still don't trust it. But we're on a macro 250. Let me mark it. Where's my macro? So it might go. We're in a macro, so it is. Oh, you got your TP hit. Nice, nice, good job. Well done. Well done. Let me just have another look. If it goes up, yeah, I'm not feeling it. I just don't know. There's some. I cannot explain why. And obviously, I've been stopped out now twice, so I'm just not feeling it properly. But I'm also not. I'm just not convinced it's gonna go now in this macro. I just don't. Maybe after 3 o'clock. Let's see. It did engulf this one here, so it's definitely bullisher than bearish. So this is the all-time high now. 237. The high is 237. Let's see. So that was just a paper trade, so I didn't lose any money, guys. Let's go to the 5 minute because I might be missing some information. We have an inversion here, clearly, yes. It's an inversion, yes. at 2:45. So again, you can see I agree with the bullishness now, okay, see, because I missed that one, the inversion. But then again, how long is it going to take, right? 5 minutes. 5-minute inversion here. It's a valid one. So this was 2:45. Mo, do you see the time again, right? We hit the in the 2:45. So when do you extend a macro? So I missed this information. 2:45 we hit an we retested the inversion. So and it just futzed around, and then we had to move at 2:53. Now let's see if the run goes up to 3 o'clock or 3 past 3, what it's going to do. I just there's something off for me to really. It's going to move, but it's not going to move easily, right? Because we went over this one here, even with the body, well, just a small body, and then it goes back into retest of this one, inversion. Let's see, 3 past 3. Yeah, no, I've been looking at the 15. No, I know the 15 does, but for me, it's more like it could it could take 2 or 3 macros to do it, even though like you're seeing happening now, right? It just doesn't move. That's my only concern, because I already graded the 15. You're talking about this wick, right? And the wick, Casey, have you seen it? Have you graded the 4-hour wick to the left of it? It hit exactly the 25% of that wick. So I'm already bullish on the higher time frame, definitely, yes. But the behavior at all-time highs is very manipulative, and it doesn't, sometimes it creates 3 of these blocks, like triple highs, before it takes it out. That's why I'm saying, that's why I said yesterday, when it makes, when it creates an equal high at the top, most of the times, let me rephrase, most of the times, you will see, so when it creates this one here at 237, it takes a bit of time before it takes out this high. It never creates it, makes one move down, and then takes it out most of the times. So I'm just going back of my journaling and what I have noticed. So that's why I'm a little bit hesitant with, okay, it's going to take out this high right now because it just created this top at 237, right? So we're still in the macro. So let's see if if it does it in half. So that will be, let's say, half an hour. But I just have a little bit of an alarm bell going off. And even though I'm very bullish, I'm just like, I just don't know if it's going to do it in this macro. But let's see. So it's 3 o'clock now. The macro has been, so we had a retest at 2:45. We had a bullish move, 252, 253. Then we go back into the range, and now it's 3. Is it going to spike through? Let's see if it's going to make that move, or it's just going to make another sort of like, it's just not going to take it out yet. Because this is what happens. A lot of people are aiming for that high, right? So that's what they do. They manipulate around this area a lot to take everybody out of their position. I don't trust it at all at this time. 1 past 3. Let's see if it runs around 3 past 3, or if it reverses at that time, right? If it starts going down already, yeah. But we didn't have a proper move in the macro, to be honest. Look at this. So we have a little retest of this. When you see a retest of a specific area which is significant, then you can actually, for example, here at 245, you can actually, the macro starts at 245. You can count that as part of the macro. So I would be bullish in a normal situation, and then it keeps a little bit of consolidation. Then we get a large candle out of it, 253, but then you go back into the range. But it doesn't go back into the 15-minute IFUG, right? So if we start running, for example, now, this would be a scenario for me. If we start running out of the outside and we take that high, in that case, I would extend the macro also after the 10 past 3. So if it would run, because you start here, right, 245, but it sort of like stalls. But if you do get a run in this macro, this is one of the situations that you widen the macro time a little bit. But let's see what happens, because and I'm keeping this on here because I just want to establish for now, is this the start of a continuation move, or is this the manipulation move of the larger in the larger frame of the setup, because the setup is actually still forming, right? Okay, let's see now. If we start running, we need a large candle to get out of that range now. Come on. And otherwise we have to just wait until 3:30. It's okay, because 3:30 can give a nice move too. So it's just hello, do hit 24, busy in homework. Yes, no, it's very important that you do your homework. Like I said, the markets will be here. I'm not going anywhere. Okay, let me get rid of this. Now, if it starts running, and you really want to break off this line, right? You really want to see it break through. Do it. I'm not going anywhere. So I want you to do well at school as well. So today we went over the 2 a.m. model again. We're just tracking it still. We're still building and collecting examples and going over scenarios. And now we're waiting for a new all-time high to be taken out. And it's just a matter of timing, because we all know it will happen again. But the question is, in which macro, or when will it take out the go back into price discovery? So we're waiting with full excitement here. So we have it's 6 past 3. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, it tapped a little bit outside the line, but let's see if it's going to continue. That was a very minimal tap. We want to see you run, amigo. Okay. Let's see if it's going to run a while now, because now it's going over. See, I don't. I don't like this. This could be a trap, guys. No, I don't. No, I'm just. I'm doing this full time now, Casey. I just trade for a living, and normally what I do voluntary work, conservation work. That's why I moved to South Africa. But now where I'm living, I don't do that. But when I moved back to the Hoedspruit area, I spend time in conservation during daytime. That's why I like the South African time. I might not do London then anymore, because then I'll be busy with conservation work. Okay, so but yeah, no, it's a full time, and that's why I love being in this area, because we can do London, and we can do, and at night we don't do much at night, especially not in the bush. Then it's U.S. market time, so that's pretty awesome. Then. Okay, um, so it's sort of a very trappy, right? So it goes over it a little bit, and then it goes back into the range. So that's why I am just not very confident in this area at the moment, and sometimes it's really hard to really explain why, because I see as well, Casey, what you pointed out on the 15, um, but something that I noticed on the beginning is that we have a 4-hour fair value gap, and if you also calculate the wick, the 4-hour wick next to it, it lines up exactly with the midpoint of that. The 50% matches exactly with the 50% of this gap. So I'm sort of like, I've got my eyes to go long somewhere in this area when we go to internal liquidity, and then, because now again we took external liquidity again for the second time. But I'm sort of like waiting for internal liquidity grab before going long. So for me, it's really like, okay, I don't want to go long before we go a little bit lower, and then I'll take a long. But hey, it might just go keep on running. But then again, look at this. I mean, it's so hard to trade this, right? I had two L's on paper trade already, so that tells me that I am not in tune with the market at the moment, and I trade distribution. I don't want to trade consolidation, and also if this would be the manipulation move, right, you would have a clear distribution move. So I'm just thinking, are we going to get another? Haven't we not had the clear manipulation? Are we just going to ink consolidation right now, then have a manipulation move? Is this just the start of a manipulation, of the accumulation cycle? So that's all I'm thinking. I'm just, going over like, okay, would I trade this? Okay, I have 2 losing trades. I'm not feeling it. I need more information. And if I miss a move, that's fine, because that move gives me more information for the next move. So I don't really mind. But this is a very difficult area, guys. I mean, Casey, you had a good trade and you took a scalp. That's awesome. You didn't stay in too long. The macro is over. You can see it's just futzing around between the 5-minute IFUG and the high. It was a little sweep. It could be enough for a move to the downside a little bit, but we're still bullish higher time frame. Don't get me wrong. extremely bullish, extremely. So, and also Casey, that wick that you pointed out, right, or the wick that we pointed out here, that is now going to be a potential rejection block. So what I'm saying is we could go into this wick here and then go back up. But I wanted to go a little bit lower. I wanted to go here and then go up. But it could go up somewhere around here again. Or just stay here for a while, right? Because we're in this busy. Could just, create more 15-minute candles here. That's what you see happen a lot around this time. So let's see. We just have to wait. I'm enjoying myself anyway with tape reading. I like it anyway. I mean, I don't have to be in a trade to have a good time. So now, let's see. If we go down, I just want to see if I'm interested in short. Am I taking it down to 164? Yeah, I'm very interested now. I'm in actually a short. I don't think we are heading back up now. Sorry. Anyone else has a bias? I'm just curious. It's a little bit hard for me to read at the moment. For me, it's just like, okay, I just really want to go to a lower area and then I can take a long. Now, I also want to point out something else that I use a lot in my analysis, and it doesn't show on my 252. So there's also a first presented fair value gap, like we have in the AM session, right? We also have one in London, and that's the one that prints after 3 o'clock. So it's the same like the 931, the ICT talks about a lot. There's also one in London after 3 o'clock, and that's this one little here. That's this one here, this little one here, first presented. Now, it's a little bit too big. You have to make it smaller. It's not a big one though, and you can see we went below it here, and then we have a retest of it. So that is a little bit bearish to me. Unless we go back up to it, I'm a little bit. But we're in between these two now, the 5-minute inversion and the London first presented fair value gap. But also there's a SIBI here, right? And again, we have a wick through it. But you can see price is again reacting from this 5-minute inversion. So it's stuck in that range, yeah. Yeah, I'm staying out. I'm not interested in this because I'll just be being chopped up. So I already I don't want to be chopped up anymore. I just really want my distribution move to have clear inside of okay. So this is the first presented fair value gap of the London session. Chop, chop, chop. Yes, chop, choppy. I'm gonna write it down. Now we are continuously disrespecting all bearishness, right? You can see it's now going through that first percentage of London. The rejection, the potential rejection wick here is already going, but okay, as I'm saying it, it's just a wick again. Here we go, just wicking. Okay, I'm gonna take this off, these lines. We don't need that anymore. Now it's important to note that the bodies are not going over it yet. Oh, okay, well, now it is. Let's see what 330 is going to bring. No. Definitely disrespecting, right? Okay, 320. Now we always talk about the normal macros, but obviously the 20 to the 40 of the hour can be continuation moves as well. They don't always take out liquidity sometimes, but they do. They could initiate hello initiate runs or have a continuation run. So let's see if we're getting any of that right now. So that's why the 330, you'll see a lot of runs happen around that time in London. Um, it still looks pretty bullish, right? If you look at it. 237. So 1, 2, number 3, 307. So this was half an hour. That's interesting, but it's just a minor sweep, right? So 237, but here 130, 140, let's say 240, 310. Okay. $192. This is just 1 point, right? It's just 2 points. The whole, it's just a minor sweep. I'm going to take this off as well. 322. 320, you see it's like a nice little manipulation wick here. I still don't trust it. You know why? Technically, I'm bullish, but then we always have these bearish. We're still in this bearish fair value gap, and there's a little imbalance here, and we are sort of hovering around it and not going. The bodies are not going over it. So are we going to get another leg down and then up? Okay, we're again going below the first presented. Are you wicking or are you just really going? Let's see if we're going to get our move to the downside or to the upside. Let's see if 330 brings something significant that we can really use. 323. I think a lot of people that are trading right now are getting chopped up and are losing a lot of just being slapped back and forth because everybody thinks it's going long. We're going to break out, right? Think about how they are sort of like, okay, everybody's like, oh my god, we're breaking out, and it might do it, but it's going to take a while, and it's just going to fool a lot of people with fake outs. And okay, let's see. I like this. Um, I would rather see a little bit more. Come on, go to the 4-hour fair value gap. Go down a little bit more. Okay, now let's see how it reacts at the 5 minute inversion. Is it again? If it keeps on jumping from it, we know it's really still bullish. But if it goes below it, then we know we can go. We can aim for the 4-hour fair value gap. It is silver bullet time. There we go. See, this was actually the entry 321, and I think I would really love to see it go down a little bit further, but I'm not touching it right now because I really wanted to see it hit the level, and then I go either long or have more confirmation for my short. Let's see. I wish I had someone here to go grab me a coffee. Again, it's respecting the 5 minute inversion, right? Again, we have a bearish fair value gap here, and we are just wicking into it. So now I'm getting very interested in a short, just looking how it behaves. I really want to see breakthrough this inversion. And let me just double. What was my level? Yeah, 163. I'm interested in 163-ish at least. I'm thinking I'm getting ready for an entry. Um, if I go in here, I can take a very minimal risk, but I'm just not sure yet. It's a hard read for me, guys. I'm being honest. I just find it really hard to read. I'm looking for one. I'm very interested in the short, and maybe it makes another low here. I'm thinking about that. It's going to do that, something like that. It might not take it out completely because we're sort of like still in a consolidation area. So I'm just thinking if it will go down here, I wouldn't. I would take it somewhere to 160-ish, so a little bit above it. So it's just sort of like creating a range right now. But it doesn't go below the 5 minute IFUG. 329. Let's see what it does. It's a very strong. The inversion is it's doing its job definitely. Here we go. It's trickling down, right? Like this, we had a 327 retest. I wanted to enter here and then put my stop here, and then I had a very tight stop loss. But now, because I had two L's, I'm a little bit more careful. Even though they're paper trades, I don't want to have three L's. But I'm just wondering if it's going to break this inversion or not. Look, if you look at this structure, right? We have a wick in and a bearish fair value gap, another wick and a bearish fair value gap. 331. See this little gap here? Again, it's consolidating. It's just chopped, so I would stay out, even though it might give a little run to the downside. It's just about 15 to 10 points. It's not worth it for the risk. Um, It's raining again here. There's so much rain here now. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. Yes, darling. Hey, Denrick. I don't have a trade idea at the moment. Oh, you mean what I was just going over? That what I was looking for. Okay. I didn't know there were new people here, so my apologies for that. My thought process is I wanted to go. There is a 4 hour fair value gap here, and this is a 5 minute inversion. So my thought process was okay. As long as we're in this 5 minute inversion, we're not going down, right? So as long as we're still here, I don't have a trade because I don't want to trade this chop. But if we would go below this 5 minute inversion fair value gap, I would like to trade it all the way down here. But on the other hand, I see a very little volume imbalance. So it's not worth a trade because the area is just too small for me to frame a trade. I cannot frame a proper risk reward trade for what I'm seeing right now. So yeah, that's why I'm not really framing a trade at the moment because I really have nothing to really frame. It's just chop, and I really need to see manipulation out of it, and then I can frame a proper trade. I really can't. I wish I could, but I can't at the moment, and there's no proper risk reward for me. Um, so it's 335 right now. Um, it's just chop. So like say we do get a large move out of here, um, then I might be able to start framing a trade, but at this moment I just can't. It would just be, I would tell just some bullshit. um, because higher time frame, I'm still bullish. I'm extremely bullish, but it's just taking its time to take out the high. So what you really want to see in this scenario, either it takes out a high, it runs, and well, then you just miss the move apparently because it's just hard to frame it right now. But I would like to see it move out of this area and then go in the lower area to the 4 hour fair value gap. But now I don't have a trade on, just waiting. Um, Thinking of if this price action stays like this, not really a point to stay on. But then again, there might it it might run out of this area and then there might be a trade. So I'm just waiting. I don't want to give up too soon. See, but I was hoping the 330 move might give a good move, but it's not. So anyway, I'm thinking of maybe ending the stream because we don't have a lot of opportunities right now. I'm just going to wait a little bit longer to see if we get out of this area. And if not, it is what it is, right? But just be careful in this area right now, guys. You don't want to be stuck. It's a lot of fake out. It's just. But we might move away now from the 5 minute inversion. That might be good. We are now below the midpoint, right? Okay. While we're talking, we are moving away from it. So Yeah, I'm getting into a short now. I'm a little bit late to the party, in all honesty. It's a paper trade still, guys. Still paper trade. Um, Now I am going to take it a little bit lower. It's going to be a longer trade. I'll leave it in. And my stop loss will be, because I do think we are going to go now. Technically, the entry should have been here. So it's a little bit less than a 1 to 2. Downrick, I'll show you the 4 hour. I want the price to go into this 4 hour fair value gap before going back up. But I might be off. I'm off all morning, so see, he's not leaving at 5 minute fair value gap, right? And it's 340. Let's see now. If it's going to leave it now. I will throw my stop accordingly. If it does leave it. If it goes over it, I'll stop my, if it goes over the 5 minute again here, I'm going to go out of the stream. I'm going to go out of the trade and stop the stream, because then we're just going to chop around. So I will just wait, guys. If it goes over, I'm going to get out of this trade. I will just wait until it breaks out. This could go on for quite a while. But the 5 minute IFPG is very strong, as you can see. But let me see. I'm just wondering if it's going to break now. I just want to see, because it's sort of bearish as well for me. I just want to see it break out. What do you guys like better, the white background or the gray? I think the background, the white is better, right? Try a bit darker. You want a bit darker? Okay. Thanks for the feedback. Okay. You like the this one better, right? Then. Oh, you like this one better? It's a little bit softer on the eyes, right? Okay, I'll change it back to a little bit. It's one. It's the first one after white. So here we go. So always when they create a high right here, it will never. It always takes at least. No, I'm not going to make it darker. Then I can't see. I can't. I already went back from. I used to work for a prop firm, and I had to use black screens, and I hated it. So I couldn't wait to go back to white. But I was looking at the videos, and I was like, it's a little bit too white. So I just made it a little bit. This one is gray, and otherwise it gets really dark. And then I can't. It's for me hard to see. You like black screens, then, Rick? Are you having a black screen on your settings? Okay, so we're just consolidating right now. I think, is it okay? Okay, gotcha. Okay, so guys, it's just consolidation. For me, it's really hard to read it. I would rather wait, do some stuff, watch the market if it takes out another high, but I would really want it to go back into the range and take internal liquidity, and then wait for my move up, for another move up, or wait for the TGIF move today. So you have, yeah, I can tell. So I'm trying to make it work for both. That's why I thought, this might be the better. So I make the black lines where you don't see that on the, but I think this might be sort of like, have both parties, the white people and the black. Well, that sounds really weird when I say that, but the people that use the white screens, the people that use the black screens, the white and the black people, they both are, we all have to compromise, and I'll do the gray, right? So, but you know what? I'm just going to leave it now because I do think we might be going up first before going down. But then again, we also could have a very fast manipulation move to the downside in this area. But it looks very bullish. I'm bullish higher time frame, definitely. We're not done yet, but I was just hoping that we get a nice move to the downside first to take internal liquidity, and then go back into the to go into price discovery. So I think I'm going to leave it here now. I'm going to keep an eye on the charts, and I might even come back even in pre-market because the news is tentative now. All the NFP news is tentative, so we might get a run sooner than the AM session. And I'm ready to trade, but I really want to see some better price action. So keep an eye on the stream. I might start it sooner than New York AM session. So, but I'm just gonna watch the charts. So for now, I'm just quickly gonna do some stuff on YouTube. I need to add some videos, and I need to do some personal stuff. And then I'll be back definitely today, and we're gonna catch some good moves today, guys. Definitely. I mean, we just have to get out of consolidation, and then I think we might have a nice day. So for now, I'm going to leave it here, and I want to thank you for joining and hanging out with me, and I'll see you in a bit, hopefully. And don't overtrade. Be careful. We have enough opportunities today. I'll see you later. Thank you.